Hi guys, so as you might have heard from all of the other videos in my social media, it's about 1,000,000,000 degrees, and because of that I didn't have a video, and so I asked this morning for you guys to just send in your questions, and because there's like 800 fans running in our house, we figured we'd come out here to the Japanese gardens and film out here while it's actually kind of nice by the lake. So I've got a whole bunch of your questions right here on my phone, so I'm just going to go through them all and answer them for you. So, the Jedi Ninja asked, I am currently working on your Ravens at Twilight kit, and I'm having an issue with one of my threads shortening faster than the other, which is extremely frustrating with variegated floss. Yeah, it is. I regularly let my needle hang down and untwirl the thread. Do you have any other tips that might help? And yes, I do. Make sure that you cut your thread pretty much as short as you can. You don't want to cut your variegated floss too long. Laying tools help, as do railroading your stitches as well. There's a wasp in here. So, but yeah, just basically try to make sure that your floss lays as evenly as it can on both sides. Untwisting is a good way to go about that. Please go away. But if you want to do more than just untwisting, you can get a laying tool. I will try to find one and link to it down below, and railroading as well, and if you don't know what railroading is, I will find a tutorial and link to that as well. Soda Giraffe asks, hi, do you ship outside the US? Yes, I do. Actually, my point-of-sale system can't accept international cards, nor can it accept PayPal, so at the top of my shop there is a button that will take you to an order form that can let you check out internationally. That takes PayPal, and PayPal does take credit card. Or if you're in the US and just want to pay with PayPal as well, you can use that same form. It does take a little bit longer because it doesn't happen automatically. Everything has to be done manually. This bee is driving me insane. But I can do both international and PayPal orders. Science Art asked, I didn't know you had dyed Ada. Would you happen to have black and white 28 count available? How much would it cost? Not at the moment, I don't. It would cost the same amount as the normal fabric of the same size. I think I sell the squares at about $7. But you can look for black, at least, in the fall update, which will be September 22nd. I probably won't sell undyed fabric just because you can get that pretty much anywhere. Needles and String asked, what brand of marker do you use to make your grids? I actually use whatever's cheap, although I do find that I prefer the nameless Japanese brand that you can get on Amazon over the DMC and the other name brands. They don't last as long, but they have a more fine tip on them, so I can get in there with the 22 count a lot more easily than I can with the DMC markers. Henry asked, do you have a P.O. box address where your viewers, can send cards or gifties for being awesome? And I do. That's on my shop, but I will also put it down in the description below if anybody wants to send me postcards, because I appreciated the other one that I showed in the last video. So, yes, if you want to send postcards or anything else, that address will be down below. Blue Greener asked, what kinds of music do you listen to while you stitch, or do you listen to books or Netflix? I don't really listen to music while I stitch all that much. I do tend to watch a lot of documentaries and a lot of YouTube, and a lot of times that overlaps. I've been really into this show lately called Seconds from Disaster, which is one of those really just horrible disaster porn shows, but I like it. It's fun. In general, the music that I listen to a lot of Viking metal, a lot of electro swing lately. I've been really into that, but really I'll listen to just about anything. I do also have a whole bunch of audiobooks that I listen to on my phone. Sometimes I'll do that while I'm stitching, but mostly I like to watch something in the background that I don't have to really focus on, so nothing with a plot, or if it does have a plot, something that I've seen 1,000,000 times already. Blue Greener also asks, I can't believe you get such good coverage with only half stitches. I've never done that before. Is the trick using much finer fabric? What I do is, it's technically called a tent stitch, but yeah, it's basically a half stitch, and you just use twice as many strands as you normally would for the full stitch. So on 22 count I use 2 strands, on 18 count I would use 4 strands, and I don't like to do it on 14 count, mainly because I don't like 14 count anyway, but also because it takes about 6 strands to get decent coverage. But that's the tent stitch, and that's pretty much what I do all of my full coverage pieces with, is that one, just because it goes quicker. It literally takes half the time. Julie asks, how would you go about removing the background in a pattern? I guess you would do it in Paint, but would you do it manually? It would take a lot of time. If you're talking about like a photo background, as in the tutorial that I did a while ago with the parrots, you would have to use some actual photo editing software. So Paint or Paint.net would be way too primitive. PC Stitch can kind of do it, but you'd really need, at the absolute minimum, GIMP. Photoshop would do it, and I'm sure there are other ones out there, but GIMP or Photoshop, something along that level, go away, is pretty much what you would need for that, because you'd have to actually delete the background in a way that doesn't interfere with the subject of your piece. So yeah, Paint is not something you'd want to do. Charlotte asks, if you were doing a cross-stitch as part of a larger project, as in making a cushion, and the cross-stitch was just a central panel, how would you attach the Aida to the other fabric? Personally, I wouldn't use Aida, I would use waste canvas, but if you wanted to use the Aida for the central panel and then have the rest of the fabric around it, what you would kind of want to do is cut the outer fabric in kind of a picture frame sort of way, where I don't think I really have any examples out here because I'm in the middle of the forest, but you'd want to cut the corners diagonally into 4 different pieces so that it would fit around the central Aida piece, kind of like a picture frame fits together. And I don't actually know what the name for that is because I'm not a carpenter, but if I can find a tutorial for that as well, I will put that down with the rest. And last, Amanda asks, what brand floss do you use for dyeing? All of my floss starts out as DMC. I get it in bulk in these massive cones, and then it gets measured out, dyed, and then measured out again into the individual skeins, which, fun fact, my 9-yard skeins aren't actually 9 yards. They're a little bit more, but I just haven't ever bothered to update the labels, so you're actually getting, I think it's a little closer to 9.5 yards, so there's something you might not have known. But I think that's everything, just a short little video because it's a million billion degrees and I didn't want to be filming this at home where it's even hotter. So yeah, there we go. If you have any other questions, go ahead and put them down below and I will answer those in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye! Oh no, they've all gone. I was trying to get the dragonflies. Your shirt's very fitting. With the big palace on the back. What's that?
It's the same shirt we're in Mount St. Helens store show.
I know, but it's very fitting here. Well, you don't want to be on the video?
No.
Why? Because why?
It's the same shirt I wore in Mount St. Helens video.
It's going on a different channel. Nobody will notice. Okay, back on the big scary bridge. Yeah, it's a little scary because it's a big bridge. I don't like bridges, you know that. Oh, please stop that. Don't be stomping on the bridge. Oh, Jesus! The board wiggled. That one did too. Oh, they're all wiggling. I have to stay right on the center beam or I'll die.